What is up, guys? Welcome to Rise to Elevate podcast, interview 28. I got the star himself, the CEO, the legendary man. Time out. I just can't believe we finally got here, dog. He was just saying before he got here, he's like, dude, I can't believe we made it. Because when I tell you all the people that I have lined up to do these interviews are very talented people that I've studied myself for months, it's very crazy. So again, guys, the CEO, the star himself, 𝙄𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙫𝙬. And dude, thank you, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yes, man. I'm so excited because it's just like, I'm nervous too because this is it. Like, I just can't believe, this is the life personally that I've chose to do and how things kind of happen, But enough about me. Let's talk about you, man. How you been? You been good?
I've been good. It's been a hell of a year.
Yeah.
A lot of things happening.
Like just 2022 or just like what year are you talking about? Because I know during COVID.
I'm saying I started the label during COVID and I started as a virtual company. So it was like, we got hit. Like, I was expecting something totally different.
Right.
I had to adapt to the COVID situation and make this and turn what I did. What I did.
Reality.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, and I know we want to talk about what you got going on now as much as everybody kind of already knows because you're getting, you're growing, bro. Let's start off with the basics. Let's go back to the beginning. I know we talked about our ages before we started this, but age is nothing but a number. Remember that, because it's all in your heart. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But let's start off when you were a kid and stuff. Where were you born? Like, where was the basics? Where was Joe at?
All right, so I was born in New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay.
1981. My father was a manager of a paint shop, automotive paint distribution company, and he ended up taking over and then owning it. He worked for the guy for like 20 years, and then ended up buying the business. But I grew up in a small town called Wallingford, Connecticut.
Okay.
So
was Connecticut like kind of like not boring, but just like what people say it is?
Yeah, you get stuck. Yeah, it's depressing. You get stuck in there. Yeah, you really have the courage and the fortitude to get out. Right.
And you did. You know what I mean? Look at you, bro. Like, you're doing successful, bro. Like, you're a CEO of a record label. You do multiple things. I heard your song too. And I heard it. So it's cool, bro. It's very cool to see where you went at in your life and how you try to tap into everything. But I know, again, we keep leading into now, but let's talk about more about when you're younger. So in elementary school, and I heard you say 1981, and like that time frame and around that time was way different compared to now. Like, how's that, like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's been a challenge to see the transition. See how kids are now. And what they're getting into and like the technology and stuff like that. Like, I was like just ahead of the curve. I think I was at a perfect age to learn just enough about like computers and stuff like Facebook and all that stuff. Like, when I was doing shows and stuff as an artist back in Connecticut, I only had MySpace and Craigslist to promote on.
Wow. And Craigslist was good though, and it's still good. Like, my brother was just telling me to go on there to look for some like easy jobs because people need help moving sometimes, or But that's cool though, man. And I think MySpace was way better than Facebook, because that's when I was 8 years old, which was about like 2009, 2010. No. I'm probably sound stupid right now. Just around that age when MySpace first started, it was probably the most banging social media because you could go on someone's profile and hear their music like they whenever you click on it. But anyways, I just thought that was funny because a lot of people don't realize how popular MySpace was. But no, so you got MySpace and not even just Craigslist, but there was something else I was gonna. There was another thing. There was something that they used back then. AOL.
Yeah.
That's what was big.
I got started on that. I was there in '92 when.
That's what I was thinking. There was, because that was Yahoo now, right? Or Google.
I don't even know.
It was just the loading screen for computers. So it's just crazy. So how was high school for you and stuff like that? Like, do you remember that, or do you forget
funny story. It's a blur in some sense, but then some of it is very vivid still. I was in high school for 7 years.
Wow. What? How? That's. Oh wow. Dang. So was it by like choice, or were you just?
No, I had this. So when I was 15, it was like a sophomore, right? I dove into the shallow end of a pool and I hit my head.
Wow.
And I didn't go to the doctors or none of that. But my head was soft and I had a concussion. I was in a coma for like 24 hours.
You didn't go to the doctor?
I didn't go to the doctor.
Damn.
I just found out that I actually suffered a brain injury just like 5 years ago. I just found out about it.
Right.
So when 15 years old happened, something clicked. Like after that, like I stopped caring about school. I started getting into all kinds of trouble.
Right.
And it's because the brain chemistry wasn't different.
Clicking.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And so I ended up getting into all kinds of fights, and I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And
but just being expelled. A teenager.
Yeah.
You know?
I got expelled my junior year. And then I went to night school for a year, and it was so easy. Like it wasn't even like, it was like, man, you got to be kidding me,
right?
You know, because I still wanted a diploma.
Yeah.
You know, so I did that, aced that, you know, and then something dawned on me one day. I was sitting outside of a Subway restaurant, and I'm just like, you know, I felt like this glow of some kind, a message came to me, and I was just like, I need to get back into day school.
Right.
I need to do this right.
Right.
And now all my friends are gone.
In Connecticut?
Yeah, in Connecticut. Wow. So all my friends are gone. And I was the first one ever in Wallingford to go to the town hall with my mother, and she got me back enrolled into day school as like a 19-year-old, 18-year-old junior.
Wow.
And then I ended up graduating at the top of my class.
That's insane, bro. I mean, I'm just glad you're okay. You know what I mean? That's the number one thing.
Yeah,
but also that you graduated. You know what I mean? Because some people get to that stage of their life where they just want to give up.
Yeah.
You know, and if you ever feel like that, that's what Rise to Elevate's here for, is to help you push to the next level. So, dude, I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
I know some people would probably take that into like a different, trying to approach it to talk about it, but it's
been it's been so challenging because, like not knowing I have a brain injury, I'm just thinking I'm insane this whole time. I'm just thinking, I'm like in and out of reality, in and out of like delusions.
Dude, and it's just crazy that, I don't want to talk about your age, but you find out so far into your life, But so after kind of like, figuring that out and, going into your like early 20s and stuff like that, what was next? Were you just like working?
I was just all music. Like I was working for my father. He had owned the shop by then. I was managing it. He had he had one store, and then it became 2 stores, and then his business was growing. And I mean, I don't think he'd mind me saying this, but he was a heroin addict until he was like 43.
Right.
So he didn't turn his life around, until that late age, and then. But he took that business and did a lot with it, and I learned a lot with it, and not even knowing that I was learning business while I was working for him, because I didn't really care too much about the paint industry. I was a musician,
right?
I wanted to only just do music,
right?
So I would mess around and sleep on the job, and like I didn't take it seriously at all, and I took advantages of my privileges as being the owner's son,
right?
So, but. Yeah, so in my 20s, I was just all about music, performing. I probably did over 1,000 live shows, and had in and out of bands, different bands and stuff, writing all kinds of music,
Yeah, and so like, what would you prefer, like, the type of music your lane is? Like, what would you say you would do?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say because, like, I've written, it's got to be over 2,000 something songs. I've had binders and binders full of.
Like rock, or?
I've done rock, I've done country, I've done blues, I've done folk, I've done rap, I've done, I've done all, a lot of genres.
Right, which has also led you up to be able to CEO what you got going on, because in order to run that, you got to know different types of music. You can't just run one lane of rap. And so, dude, let's actually branch off into, like, networking, because, like, I know you don't have to, like, say you're telling me how you meet these people, certain people, but, like, have you feel like that's played, like, a big thing into being a CEO and stuff?
Definitely. I needed the connections, I needed the network in order to be able to do this, and some people may say this was a mistake. I know my brother was saying it was a mistake, but I went international first before I went local.
Right.
So, I try to do things backwards and reverse engineer things, But, so there's pluses and minuses to that, like they say not to grow too big too fast. Well, I went real big, real
right,
fast.
too fast.
Yeah. So I ended up losing a bunch of artists, losing a bunch of employees.
Yeah.
Then I had to start over. Then I kept on trying to do it. Then I started backing off of the international stuff as much,
right,
and start going nationwide. Okay, and finally,
no, that's still cool though, man, because that just shows you're not the same. Like, you're not trying to play the most, generic lane in your career. Because like a lot of people would just start off locally. I mean, not trying to say I'm normal, but it's like it's harder to think that concept of like, let me go international first and then branch off into where I'm at now, which is hard.
Well, I'm glad I did though.
Right.
Here's the pluses: is it gave me a network. Like, I'm connected
right,
in other countries that. People here don't know what the hell I got going on in Africa and Europe and all that, so...
Do you love being like more international than being local?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I love learning about new cultures and different ways of life and like, all these different people that... Because I mean, to be honest, I don't leave my house that much. I don't go out.
You ain't missing anything.
You know what I'm saying?
The world's crazy right now.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
And I can't fight no more.
No,
after I had the surgery, 2 spinal surgeries, back about 4 or 5 years ago.
So let's talk about that. So like, what led up to that? Or what happened?
I was in the middle of recording an album, it was like 2017, I think. And I was recording an album with the Hitmasters, which is 𝙄𝙤𝙬𝙚𝙬's nephew, OB. And so OB was putting me on, and we were doing this album together. And then I got into this wreck, and then...
Like car wreck? Yeah,
somebody hit me from behind, and at like 55 miles an hour, and I ended up having to have surgery in my neck and my lower back. And since then, like, I can't really play the guitar like I used to.
Right.
I can't sing like I used to because I had to go through the front of my neck and kind of move my vocal cords around.
Right.
So, like, that was...
It's just rough. Not the same.
And that's what ended up starting this record label. That's why I started the record label. It was because I still wanted to be in the industry, but I knew I didn't have the capacity, like... the capabilities like I used to. Right. You know what I mean?
And never say never, because that's what Rise the Elevate is.
I'm trying to get back into it. Actually, I just wrote 2 new songs like last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I've been working on some stuff. I've been trying to play, get my chops back and stuff. Because I have a show coming up February 24th for the first time in 5 years.
Where at?
In Somerville, Charlie Pub.
Okay, dude, congratulations, bro. My dog's getting active, and that's what you have to do, bro. And not give up on your dreams, because as much as you want to run a CEO and help other people, you still have to focus on yourself.
Sure.
Because that's the only way you're going to be able to be functioning.
I have to consistently be growing and elevating.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Every single day. So like, even starting the CEO, are you a family man and stuff like that? Or like, what's up?
Yeah, I got 2 kids back home. I mean, that's like when I was talking about leaving Connecticut and getting out of that box, I mean, I had to sacrifice everything.
Right.
The marriage fell apart. I was with my ex-wife. The marriage fell apart. We weren't getting along, and it was better for the kids that we separated, and we just couldn't make it work. Make it work. But then, I got hooked up with my current wife, and we're just like sick of the snow. We're sick of the glum, mundane.
Need a change. Come to the palm trees.
I wanted to come to the holy city. Right. I googled where's the nicest place in America to live.
No way.
And it's Charleston. So
I don't know about that one, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Especially because like you go on like the most tourist spot and it's like Myrtle Beach. Like I don't know how that's possible, because I've lived in South Carolina since I was probably 7 or 6. I've probably been to Myrtle Beach twice.
Yeah,
that's insane. And there's people that live outside the state that's been to Myrtle Beach like 10 times in 1 month.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But no, man, for real, it's crazy how like the growth that you've had. You have a lot of talented artists signed. Like, who do you have that's like your most prominent artist right now that you... Not say, I know you focus on all of them.
Yeah,
like,
I do.
Which one do you like?
I don't play favorites. I respect all their crafts.
Yeah,
because they've all like mastered their crafts.
Right.
Which is, I think, the 10% of the music industry is mastering that craft. Right. So, but I got 𝙄𝙤𝙬𝙚𝙬, he's the only South Carolina artist I got on the label.
Okay.
𝙄𝙤𝙬𝙬𝙚 Lil Park out of Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. Curly Jones, gospel singer out of Connecticut. Mm-hmm. NJ out in London, you know, and then some African artists that are just unbelievable.
Yeah, there is some beautiful African. Shout out to my dog Bobo Sway. He probably won't see this, but dude, I actually met and I don't mean to like Robert, but I met a African artist, and dude, I'm like, I don't get how, you know what I mean. I don't know, man. Like, they're beautiful. Their music is so beautiful. I don't know how like people are not talking about it that much. You know what I'm saying? Because that's different music.
It is very different.
It's not the same type of music we've heard every single day. You know?
But they do adopt a lot of American.
Yeah. But they like boof.
They
like,
really look up to us. They look up to us, but then they take it to a different level.
Yeah, they do.
But nobody really notices them because it's so hard to get.
Yeah, it's in Africa.
And it's money.
Yeah, it is money. You know, do you think that like, you know, being able to actually say you're a CEO and dealing with money and stuff like that, do you think that has like, you know, not made you look kind of weird, but like, you know what I mean? Like, do you think money plays a bigger role in your career than it should? That makes sense?
Yeah, I mean,
because I'm more of like a money, like not money dude. Like I don't.
I'm a not money guy either. Like I give it away. I give my last dollar away,
right,
and I do it all the time.
Right,
you know, I'm sitting there looking at my cash app. I got $10 in it. You know, I'm using it to promote somebody.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, you have to.
And so, but yeah, some people I think perceive me as having a bunch of money,
right,
and think that they could just get whatever they want from me, so I get taken advantage of a lot,
right.
You know, and that stuff happens, you know, and usually I'm a sucker for it, you know, so like if somebody needs something, you know, they tell me a sob story,
right, you're gonna help.
I'm gonna help them.
Yeah, and that it's a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah,
you know, and but no, let's. I was also gonna ask you this one question too. It was just right on my mind. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you. Do you think that you being yourself? Do you think you can wake up and be yourself every single day? I was gonna ask it in a different way. That's kind of why I said it, but I had to keep it, you know, kind of generic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm authentic.
Yeah.
I'm transparent. I mean, there's nothing I won't really tell you, you know, and I think every day I wake up, you know, it's a new, fresh day, and I just try to knock the ducks off the fence, you know, and be myself and play the role that I've been given, you know, that I've fallen into, really, you know. I mean, because I never dreamed that this would even be my path right now. You know, I didn't have plans to run a label or any publishing company, anything like that when I was an artist. My end goal was, you know, being on the main stages and, you know, performing and doing all that stuff. So when that car accident happened like that,
changed your life.
It changed my life. So I wanted to, you know, I wanted to stay authentic to artistry and put artists first, and you know, that's really what my MO is.
What's the hardest part about being yourself, would you say? Especially, or even what's the hardest part about being the CEO of what you're doing?
Everybody needs something all the time. I'm getting hit up, you know, a lot, and I don't have as much help as I used to have in the beginning, so there's not as many people to like field text messages and calls and stuff like that. I got to answer like just about everything that comes through, you know. I try to, you know, I have some people helping me, but it's just, you know, it's grown, like I said, it's been growing so fast and so big. It's like it's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, and then you also need time for yourself. You know what I mean? And to focus. Yeah, I know. I feel you. Trust me. Yeah, it's hard, and you know, but you have to learn to balance it, and that's why I just started working out. You know, I keep my workout thing over there on my whiteboard, but it's like being more organized and being more precise. So, do you like follow a strict schedule or anything, or do you like
I got none. I got no schedule. Like
you need to try to, well, not like that, but you know, you could try to like evenly like do things correctly, and not like that, but you know what I mean. Just like 12 o'clock, this happens. Like,
yeah.
You know, like how we met today. Like,
well,
change your life.
See, I'm getting better. Okay, but it's been a huge adjustment. Like I've had to, you know, because sometimes I won't sleep at all during the night, because I'm talking to people in other countries, and then I'll sleep during the day.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. That's crazy.
Because the world time, the world clock and stuff, you know. So, and as CEO, I got to be available, you know. So when duty calls, I got to be there. If I'm gonna be on my grind, you know, I got to be there when
Time is ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you play games in the middle of that time?
I do have a couple games.
What games do you play?
I like Civilization, like strategy games.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, like the old Halo game that they had. You know which one?
No, I know Halo, but I'm
not the actual one, but it was the strategy one.
Oh no, I don't know that one.
Oh wow, it was like you had to like place all the Spartans in one spot, and like it's a strategic game.
Yeah, the Civilization's like you build an empire.
You should check it out.
Yeah, I will.
It's actually really cool, and if you liked Halo.
Yeah, I like Halo. Yeah,
it's all about that, and like you get like you buy 5-10 warthogs. I don't want to talk about it on here, but you know what I mean. You buy like 5-10 of them, and then you push them to this area. Mm-hmm. It's cool, but even doing that you could apply that to your life every day. Mm-hmm. You know, and the same thing with Sims. I tell people this all the time, like. If you master Sims, then you can master life because Sims is actually
about scheduling.
Life. Yeah, that's all it is.
I know. I used to play that too.
That's what I adapted my life to, and that's why you kind of come where my studio or whatever and it's clean because like I just cannot I'm OCD. But no, again, do you think that even doing what you're doing is going to be longevity, or are you looking just to, make a staple stone for, your kids or like, you know what I'm saying?
No, we're going for the long haul. I mean, I got, it's really several businesses I've got started. So, I mean, I'm thinking way ahead now. Ever since starting the label, it's kind of transformed into, how can I help artists get established financially without having to fork out a bunch of money to make that happen for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm not a rich guy. You know what I mean? Like I can't just write out $1 million checks. Right. And here you go, mm-hmm. and that kind of stuff. And I wouldn't want to do that anyway because I don't want to put somebody in debt right when they're starting their business.
Yeah, right.
It's just a bad business strategy in my opinion.
Right. No, I definitely agree. And you won't get good business doing that. Nobody's going to look at you and be like, I want to work with them. You know what I mean? So what would you, I know we've already established it in some ways, but what would you label yourself as? Not just the CEO of Atlas Star Records, but what else?
A serial entrepreneur.
Yeah. Well, like what would you, I know like, what is that actually? I didn't even think about that.
It's like having several businesses and running several companies and...
I've never heard that. That's pretty cool. See, I learn something new every day. But like, what are those categories? I feel like? So...
Like we started our own cigar lines, mm-hmm. For artists. We started our own. We got the Funny Juice or Fruit Juice. I got a 10-year-old kid now who's starting his own company called 𝙄𝙣𝙩𝙚𝙀 the Funny Kid, and it's the Funny Juice he's got. And then
he's actually pretty funny. I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah, he walks around. I think his mom helps him.
Yeah, his mom
walks around and he.
The good friends mom.
He goes. I saw one where he walked up to the girl and was like, "Can you be my girlfriend?" I think it was so funny.
Yeah, and he's hitting it, man. Like, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of all these artists that now are getting these brands established. I'm trying to teach them about branding and marketing and all that kind of stuff.
That's dope, man. Congratulations on that, because you're not just doing music, but you're also teaching people how to be themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's the biggest part, because the business is also yourself.
Because they don't want longevity.
Yeah,
they want this to be a future for themselves and for the kids mm-hmm. and for their families. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to make that possible for them.
Right.
By coming up with these ideas for new products and stuff like that, and designing all the labels and doing all that stuff.
Everything, man. You're the CEO. You know what I'm saying? So like, what do you have in store next? Like, what's next for Atlas Records and?
2023 is going to be big. I mean, this weekend I'm going to meet with 𝙄𝙗𝙀 and
congratulations.
Down in Atlanta. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna be getting some artists off the porch,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that. That's dope. That's the interview one, isn't it? Or that is the interview. The behind the. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I don't care if you talk about it on here.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the interviews behind the thing. Like, I like the whole front and
formal.
Yeah, I don't. I think that whole the person behind the camera talking is just a little scary. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just so what are you doing? And then you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just too much. I like the
personal.
But congratulations on that. And where can we find you on social medias and stuff like that? Like, what do you use the most?
Just Atlas Star Records. I mean, Instagram or we got atlasstarrecords.com. We got atlassstarshopping.com for artists to buy things for their career and stuff. I created a shopping mall and then I got retro-palms.com, which is where all the merchandise is stored. So I created like an online distribution thing, for them to, you know, sell their products worldwide.
Did that take a long time to do? Like the whole process of all this?
Yeah.
So I know you said you started it like during COVID, but like
it's like 2020, like April, January of 2020, I think.
Wow. That's crazy, man, because time's flying.
Yeah,
honestly,
no
like
kidding,
I feel like I remember when I was in that present moment, because I was actually trying to get this, but it's beautiful, man. The growth, like I said, since I've known you, it's been almost a year now. And a lot of people I've had on my schedule to be able to interview and stuff I've been talking to them to do this interview for almost a year. I don't know why I made that so hard, but see, in my head right now, I'm thinking too hard and not just wanting to say it. But that's because the Waterboy interview, if y'all watch, I just got scarred because I never want to just say the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Like you got to get comfortable in front of the camera and be yourself. So, you know, again, dude, I appreciate your time. I know I say this at the end of every interview, but by next year, if, you know, everything is cracking and everything's okay with that, you know, all of us, get you back on here.
Definitely.
Get it cracking, see what's going on, dig a little bit deeper in your life.
Definitely, man. There's a lot to be discovered.
There it
Trust
is.
me.
Yeah, and it's beautiful because I think people, you know, don't realize, especially the next interview I have for the second stages of people. Like, let's say, for instance, you. Like, the next time I see you, you don't even know what I have in store for you. It's not going to be about the same things that we're talking about. It's going to be more, you know what I mean? And that's what 𝙄𝙣𝙩𝙚𝙬𝙬 is.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking the baby steps, though.
I love it,
I can't come in here and give everybody these beautiful interviews, and then it's just like, who is that? I need you to know who it is. If you don't know who it is, go to my first interview with him and learn, and then come to this one and see why.
While you're getting the second,
there you go. What
one.
You've been through to get you into the position you are now. So again, guys, you know, it's been beautiful. I appreciate you guys rocking with 𝙄𝙬𝙬𝙬 you know, I don't want to blabber about it too much, but it was the 1 year anniversary for 𝙄𝙬𝙬 podcast, so I could not thank you guys enough for staying true to me, but necessarily yourself, because in order to really comprehend what's going on, you got to be really like the next level. So I love every single one of you guys. Just had to tell you guys that before I ask him one more question. But dude, how does it feel to be Joe, bro? Like, for real, I just had to ask, because I've been following you, man, and I learned advertising from you like a lot. Like, you advertise good. In order to advertise, you cannot care about likes and views. Do you think that has you don't get affected by that?
No.
Because you're a master at, not saying it like that, but it's like, I've followed you, bro.
I'm consistent.
There you go.
You just gotta be consistent.
That's all it is. Is there anything else you want to talk about or anything you want to bring up before we go?
No, I mean, you asked me like, what does it feel like to be Joe?
Yeah, I was just saying, because like, I'm very like, you know,
right now, I'm gonna say this. I'm self-conscious and I'm trying to get over it because of my weight.
Yeah, no, man, you can't. You know,
but no, I'm saying for real though. Like, it's been a battle to accept it, because if it wasn't for the accident, I'd still be in great shape because I was working out all the time. But now, like, it's so hard. It's just so hard to lift and to exercise and stuff like that like I used to. It's sad.
But I want to be the motivator and tell you can figure it out.
I'm gonna figure it out. Oh, I'm gonna figure it out.
I don't want to be the dad, or you know.
No, I know what you're saying.
I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna get you lifting, because I've been lifting a lot. You don't want to see poof, you know. But thank you for hopping on, and thank you for even taking your time out to spread, you know, not just the gems but your life. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we don't take appreciative of who we have in our lives. You know, especially what you've done and what you've been through, and you know, just to say you're here. So again, thank you, bro.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Till next time. I thank you guys for staying tuned for the interview. I can't wait for you guys to see the next one. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Remember, stay true to yourself, and the only way to achieve your dreams is through you. Nobody else is going to do it but you. Again, guys, be like me and Joe. Be a star. Peace.
That's right. Peace out.